We're now joined for more on this by our reporter joining us live from there, and that is going to come to you in a very short while. But just some of the regulatory issues at play here. One, the Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority, SIRA, as it is being referred to, is the regulatory authority here that had issued the compliance certificate for a security training facility. SIRA, part of the SABC investigation, has found that some of the training and the equipment, such as the weapons that had been found there, points to the fact that a military training camp had been set up inadvertently while providing security training facilities and services over here. The minister also outlined very specifically that while they cannot say which specific regulatory and statutory violations had taken place in here, as that is an ongoing investigation, what they can say is that based on that, they have now they've arrested the people there and have asked for the facility to be shut down pending the investigation and the finalization of that. They had also indicated that there had been visa violation. Very specifically, this is the ambit of Home Affairs. When asked if there had been contact made by the South African government to the Libyan government on the verification of these individuals, the minister said that General Masoyi will be addressing that in the ongoing investigation. However, visa violation had been made. Importantly as well, and this is a key part of the visa violation process, is that they have been detained very specifically, not on criminal acts, but on detention for the purposes of deportation, given that the basis of the arrest is visa violations rather than criminality, very specifically, as that is yet to be determined. Joining us to unpack more on this is Azaniah Mnisi, who's a security consultant and practitioner specializing in security planning, management, investigation, analysis, and compliance audit, also registered with SIRA. Azaniah, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. Perhaps to start here, is it suspicious that Libyan nationals would be training at a South African security training facility, or is there nothing untoward about that?
Good evening, Oliver, and good evening to the viewers. It is very suspicious, and it casts lots of doubt to us as a nation in terms of coordination. As we are unpacking this, it appears very clearly that there is no coordination amongst our government departments and organs of the state, for that matter, because you process about 95 people from Libya in a war-torn country, with no suspicion. They're giving us an indication that they're coming for a training of security from a war-torn country, and we don't raise any alarm whatsoever. When they were handed over, Home Affairs did not hand over them to SIRA. Because that's what was supposed to have happened. They should have been handed over to SIRA. SIRA processed them to ensure that they fit in or they comply to the SIRA requirements, but they were just allowed into the country. So it's very clear that as a nation, one, our borders are porous. Not because...
Can I just pause you there before going on to how they may have gotten into the country? Is there a requirement for pre-certification of any individual seeking to secure security training? If I wanted to become a security guard, do I have to apply to SIRA, or do I just go to a security guard school, get the training, do some form of testing, and only upon having done the testing does SIRA certify and recognize me as a trained security guard? Or do I have to start the process at SIRA?
As a South African, no, not exactly. You can start at the training school as a South African. Then the training school will link you up with SIRA for you to be registered as after you have completed your training modules.
Yeah. What part of the law puts that requirement on foreign nationals?
Obviously, we are controlled by SIRA itself. There has been lots of chaos in terms of hiring security officers who are not South Africans. Remember when we had a deadly strike somewhere in the early 2000s of security, and SIRA had to look at it and ensure that we don't have foreign nationals working as securities in our country because of this kind of chaos that we had.
Yeah, the police commissioner there speaks about a overstepping of the line and very specifically between security training and potential military training, and that they may have crossed the line over there. Where does security training end? Where does military training begin? How do we tell the two apart?
Look, the basic security training is not the basic military training. In this way, it's all about access control. In the main security training, it has nothing to do with what we saw there in Mpumalanga. Yes, there are issues of firearms training for business purpose. It is very clear and prescriptive. It doesn't go to this heavily artillery that we're seeing there. It's about 3 firearms: the shotgun, the handgun, and the rifle. Specifically, the training itself is clear. So what we see there is it has overstepped, as they're saying. It has overstepped the mark, and you see that this is beyond security training.
I understand at the lowest level, security training is about access control and making sure that that's done right. But at the highest level, where there is armed response training taking place over there, how different is using, for instance, an automatic rifle in armed response training from it being military training? And armed response training is not just, I'm assuming here, and please do correct me, not just about shooting a gun, but also knowing how to react in a violent and a tense situation.
As I said, the firearm training from the security point of view is purely basic. Yes, when it comes to armed response, we then have an advanced kind of training which is specific to armed response. It's not necessarily incorporated on the training of the military. So it's just very clear on that. And also our laws in the country, there are specifics, or even if when you check the commission after the Marikana Commission report. So we learned there that there are, even in the police itself, there are police who are empowered to engage with the public and so on and stuff like that. So not any other police official can engage with the public or with the mob, for that matter. So there are those kind of lines drawn clearly for the purpose of demarcating responsibilities. So armed response is just an advanced kind of training for firearm training.
Yeah. Azaniah, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate your insights.